Alright, so this is my first little tiny lesson on what I call junkyard jewelry. So if you don't have a needle at the moment and you are trying to sew something, specifically works best with if you already have holes punched, such as leather. And if you don't have a hole punch, all you have to do is take a knife, put it where you want your hole, smack it with the back of a stick. It's the easiest way to make a hole punch if you don't have one. However, if you want, you can go spend about $5 or $10 and get yourself a cheap little hole punch from Harbor Freight or pretty much anywhere. Now I am currently not at my other shop where my leather stuff is, so I don't have a needle, but a good friend of mine just dropped off a giant box of leather scraps that I'm about to go give a lesson to the Nashville homeless on some simple sewing methods. I'm also going to drop off a bunch of sewing needles for them, but just for anyone who doesn't happen to have access to a sewing needle and you might be looking, if you can find a piece of copper wire, it works great, or a paper clip, anything. Really, you could even use a bobby pin, but if you can just find a piece of wire, that's really all you need if you have holes punched. And if you can't punch holes somehow, then that's a personal problem. So what I do is just take a piece of wire and just snap it off, about twice as long as you'd want your needle. Try to straighten out your tip so it's not all wonky. Then what you're gonna do is take your thread. This is just some old thread I got from a buddy who was an upholsterer. So it comes on the little wheels, as if I have a sewing machine. You're just gonna want to catch it about like that, and then the rest is actually self-explanatory. The only difference is between this and normal sewing is that you're not going to want to have just a little bit of thread hanging out. You're going to want to double up on it all the way down. And boom. There's your little makeshift sewing needle. Get to sewing, son. What I'm currently working on is this little phone case, the extra long charging port part, because my charger always falls out. I'm gonna fix that today. More sewing tips later.